Lots of keys there. Lots of keys, like a janitor. He's got so many keys. Hey, Matt Bell here with Electric Violin Shop, guys, and we're live with Mr. Jeff Stratton from Stratton Violins, the famous and infamous.
The famous and infamous guy from...
He makes these awesome violins, and I feel like Vanna White. All these beautiful violins up on the wall, just the beautiful ones. Those are the ones that he made. The other ones are by other people. So, yeah, Jeff Stratton is here. He's in from all the way across town from Bulgaria.
From Bulgaria. Around Varna, Bulgaria, actually. So, yeah, bopping into the electric violin shop for a week and then bopping back to work. Back across the pond, so to speak.
That's right. So he brought some violins with him, some new ones. You'll see the ones that don't have any strings on them yet.
Haven't been set up.
But yeah, so obviously he's an American guy. He's just really good at nailing the American accent from Bulgaria.
No, I'm American.
And from California, so almost American.
California, almost not quite American, not quite a real American.
That's right. Well, lives in Bulgaria now, so we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about how he got to Bulgaria. We'll talk about how he came up with the idea for these amazing instruments, how he makes them, what he makes them out of. We know why he makes them. He makes them for you to have an amazing instrument to play. That's why.
I make them because I love to make them. I love music, love the violin, love the players. It's awesome.
And getting paid's not bad either.
And getting paid's not bad either.
So, yeah, we're going to have a little fun today. He tells great stories. I have no idea what we're going to talk about today. To have a video on how to play a 7-string electric violin. You know, Stratton doesn't make a 7-string violins. There's no point in even talking about them today.
Yeah, we're not in the 7-string violin making thing.
As far as how to play one, it's a lot like playing a 4-string, only has more strings. It's difficult. I will say that a 7-string for me is difficult. There's a lot of people that have figured it out.
I can't even handle it. My hand is aching after 2 seconds of even trying it.
Yeah, for me, 6 is sort of the sweet spot on extended range. 7, we can talk about at some point, but not today. Somebody called. We're not going to talk to them. They can go away.
Talk. We don't know who they are anyway.
Probably just trying to sell something. So, yeah, we're here. So let's talk about...
Which one's first?
Yeah, let's just grab one of these and you tell them some stories about it.
So
you pick one.
We'll start with this one. So these violins are the beginning of more of a one-off kind of collector's item, I would say. And this particular violin is kind of Native American themed. I don't know how well people can see these colors, but kind of represents the struggle of the American Indian, kind of what they went through and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to honor that. And this violin is for that. It's, God, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And on these designs, I work with another artist from Kazakhstan who lives in my neighborhood. And we have a great time coming up with new ideas for violins.
Let's talk about material construction, because there's some, we'll hear sometimes where people go, oh, is that molded? Is that plastic?
No, this is actually cut from a solid block of wood. So everything I make is all from a solid wood block of wood. Solid wood block of wood. I'm repeating myself. So this wood is all native to Bulgaria. They have it here in the States. It's called sycamore. And in Bulgaria, the climate is a little bit colder in the mountains than on the East Coast here in the United States. So the wood grain is really crazy. I love it. I mean, it's stable, it's strong, it's a light enough weight to be a playable instrument. And the neck is Balkan flamed maple. That's also grown in Bulgaria. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just want you guys to see some of the 3D relief on this. Is, you know, you see this instrument, this is not like somebody just sort of, you know, etched this in. This is a full 3-dimensional carving here. And
yeah,
it's really, really beautiful. This is the one that jumped out at me when I first saw the 4 or so that he brought with him.
And these violins are numbered in a series. There'll never be another one exactly like it. These guys, I have started doing more custom one-off stuff, and basically I enjoy it. You know, we come up with these ideas and it's awesome.
Yeah, so this is not just just an instrument. This is a piece of art. It is perfect for Halloween, and in fact, Halloween's coming up, and if you wanted to give yourself a really cool gift, you could give yourself this violin right here.
That's it.
We'll even put strings on it for you.
Yeah, speaking of Halloween, here's this was just kind of a fun project where you're like, let's see how this turns out. And it has 3 skulls in it, and this is a 5-string. And this was just a fun idea we kind of worked on. We did a 3D model on the computer, and that's how it turned out. We're pretty darn happy with it. I don't know how. So this is actually pretty good Halloween.
Yeah.
Kind of design here.
Yeah, you guys can.
You have it?
Yeah.
Little spooky thing going on.
We got the bottom skull here that you guys can see right here with the nose. I got to make sure that Facebook and Instagram or Facebook and YouTube can both see. You got the nose and the eyes. We got some horns coming up here, right? And we sort of start working up toward where the bridge and stuff will be. And then you got another skull here. And then we come up to the top. There's another skull at the top. So 3-headed monster here with the horns coming out. And what I really like is the horns extending out into the bout here. That's a really cool look. And again, Jamie will set these up with tail pieces and bridges and strings and.
Yeah, I'm just kind of flying in from Bulgaria. I brought these with me, so.
These are really, really sweet. So we're gonna put starfish pickups on these, right?
I think he's checking
For-
Rich to see.
Yeah, there is a Barbera possibility too.
Okay. There's a possibility of Barbera pickups depending on sourcing availability, and then have you got some of the tail pieces floating around?
Yeah, I do.
The tail pieces are all custom made too. I know you guys have seen some of these. Here's on an instrument, the one I just played. I think this is the one I just played.
Yeah, here's one that's.
What's up, Ian Cooper? We were just watching some of your videos last night, man. We're watching your hotel room sessions where you played Daphne. So cool, man.
Plain brown. This is actually 18 karat gold plated. So we do any color people want. These are handmade in Varna, Bulgaria. They're cast from a special brass that they used to make bells. So I think it kind of affects the sound of the violin. Yeah,
I'm a bell.
bell.
Look at that.
Matte bell metal. Right.
I've even had
Special
my
matte
bell rung before.
Yeah.
It's usually when you won't shut up, somebody will ring your bell for you. How many strings for the Indian carved one? Good question.
That's
That
a
is
4-string.
Four.
That's a 4-string. Yeah.
It has no strings on it right now.
It's a no stringer, but it will have 4.
These are the Devil's Fiddles. In fact,
Jeff, I can't.
yeah, Jeff, did you used to be in Fallbrook, San Diego?
Not in Fallbrook. I lived in Elfin Forest, near Encinitas, Carlsbad, up in there.
Yeah, Ian, I don't know if you saw this one when you first came in, but this is the Native American one with the skull and the headdress coming out here that he made. In fact, we just had somebody here in the shop today, and we were showing them the X10 violin, and they were talking about how hard it was to play. But I said, you watch Ian play it; he makes it look really easy because he practices more than
Yeah,
me.
that's the thing, man. Some of these guys are like Jimi Hendrix. They just play anything they pick up, they play. Which one?
What else? What else you want to show
So
them?
the other two I have are, let's do this one. People have seen this one on Instagram. I think I posted pictures on Facebook. My wife and I have traveled extensively in Nepal. And we love the culture, the Nepali, Tibetan culture, the old Buddhist culture. And these violins are inspired by that. And you see some of the temple carvings in this, I mean, like 6th century, 4th century. It's just amazing, the Buddhist artwork. So this violin is basically inspired by that, along with this other one.
Yeah, we'll give you guys some more detail on this in a few minutes.
So this one, this turned out really well. This is probably one of the, but to date, my most favorite violin that I've made. And we incorporated some metal pieces to it across the top here. And I don't know how well people can see the detail of this stuff. But this is the Tibetan Wheel of Life carved into the bottom of this, and it tells the story of Buddha and all that kind of stuff. So it's really turned out, I'm really super happy with it.
Beautiful violins. So these are all custom works, custom one-offs, and it'll be no other, he's never going to make a violin like this again.
Yeah, this is kind of it. This is a new thing. These are all numbered. I can't remember, I'm up to 6, because the other 2 that were here sold.
Yeah, you had the one with all the faces on it.
All the faces, and that other one, they're gone.
Yeah.
So these are 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Of this series of completely one-off custom violins.
Series of fortunate events.
Series of fortunate events.
So this is one, I don't know how many of you guys follow Kane Brown, but when Kane Brown was in town in Raleigh a few months ago, like 1 month ago, Lars Thorson, his fiddle player, and we interviewed him for the podcast. If you guys don't follow the Rockstar Violinist podcast, please do. The Tracy Silverman episode just came out a few weeks ago. We've got another one coming out the end of this week, maybe, if I can get it edited. I interviewed Lars for that, and then Lars took this very violin, this one right here, took this out and did a killer solo with Kane Brown on it. And it's funny, today we're messing with this thing and we just realized that it does not have a chin rest on it. So Lars took this thing out and played it in front of 20,000 people, and I don't think any of us even noticed that it didn't have a chin rest on it. I found a picture from that night, and I was like, well, maybe the chin rest like fell off in the case or something. Like, nope, no chin rest. It didn't have one on there.
Went for the gusto.
And Lars just destroyed this thing on stage in front of 20,000 people. That's figuratively, by the way. It's still in good condition. You
destroyed it playing it by the sound.
Just played a killer solo in front of all those people. And to Dixon, what's happening? You're all excited because you think you got a violin coming. So she's loving me right now. She's been waiting for her 7-string Viper for 6 or 7 years now, I think it seems like. Somewhat less than that, but it probably feels like more. So this actual violin. You could play this one. You could own this one. Played by Lars Thorson, who was trained by Tracy Silverman and Daryl Anger, and played this on stage in front of like half of Raleigh, North Carolina a couple weeks ago. We will actually throw in a chin rest for free.
Free chin rest.
If you're really nice. If you're not nice, then we're taking the strings off and all that. So that is, explain what model this is. This is
a standard model skull. So this is kind of a quick, not really a quick, but it's more of a, it's always going to look like this. I just change the colors. I do about 60% handwork on it. I crack it, distress it, and you know, it's more of a simple, lighter weight design. And then it goes up to the semi-custom models, where those are always different. I never know how it's going to turn out. They crack it, distress them, change the colors. Do all kinds of crazy ideas. Yeah, when I start these, I never really know how they're gonna look in the end.
a little more detail on these, right? You can see there's nice 3D relief
A lot more
on there.
detail in the teeth.
And the
More
teeth.
distress on more cracks in the wood.
See all that, everybody can see. This one has a starfish pickup on it. Some will have barbarus, some will have starfish, sort of depending on availability. We were just listening to these two pickups a few minutes ago, and so I'll play this one. I played the Barbera earlier. it comes with a 7 and the root. So that's the starfish. Let me play the Barbera for you guys again. Sort of here. There's a subtle difference, but not crazy big.
Not crazy big.
I got a free bird for you when I see you next, Nick. We'll talk about it. My man.
Free bird.
Free bird. He's that guy.
What guy?
The guy that always yells free bird. He's that
Free
guy.
bird. The guy that always yells
that's-
free bird.
It's your funeral, dude. We're all yelling free
Stairway
bird.
to heaven.
So, yeah, in your funeral in like 300 years, right? He's gonna live forever. So, so Starfish and Barbera pickups are available on these, and it does depend a little bit on availability. Yeah, I got booking agents hitting me, which is cool. We like bookings,
We like bookings.
but not in the middle of a live stream.
Not in the middle of live stream. That's kind of crazy.
So if the whole devil thing is not, yeah, the white one does have a fat tone. The white one has the Barbera. So
Yeah,
that's going to
that-
be a little meatier. What we noticed with the Barbera, at least here, I've done some recordings with both of them, and overlaid you can see the RTA. The Barbera not only sounds a little fatter, but when you look at it on the spectrum, it is a little fatter. What I find with the Starfish is it's a little more balanced. It's not, the Barberas are real heavy on the bottom end, and that's what I like. I like lots of beef. I want to be shaking the neighbor's windows is what I want. If you want more of an acoustic type tone, then the Starfish is probably a little better for you. It's a little more balanced, not quite as much beef, but it's a little more clear on the high end. The Barberas are a little more round on the high end, and I think the Starfish are a little more clear. So if you're looking for like clear and balanced, maybe Starfish. If you're looking for beefy and meaty, then that's Barbera. So I will say that the Barberas can be a little bit more high maintenance. We got to sort of be aware of the gaps and stuff in that bridge, and if you get some funk in those gaps, sometimes you can get a string that sounds like it's a little dead. We've got some videos on how to deal with that. We don't have that issue with the Starfish pickups. And if you don't need like super thunderous low end, then I think Starfish should make you pretty happy, honestly. So one of the other things we talk about, he's got the skull models, and then there's the gypsy model. The white one is a gypsy. If you're playing church gigs and stuff, and you don't really want to walk in with a skull, unless it's Good Friday, if you say Easter, this one's better for Easter. More of a traditional look. Maybe I want to talk about the inspiration behind that.
Well, I have been woodworking forever, most of my life, and we did retail spaces, cabinet making, and I really like this old distress kind of look. And I had an idea to incorporate it into the violin because I want my stuff to look old and cracked and like it's a couple hundred years old, and that was kind of why I started doing this, and it really turned out a lot better than I expected to, and I started adding paint. I don't know, do we have one?
Yeah, we got the black
we
and
have
blue. This thing is so hot.
So I started putting colors to it, and some without, just stains, depending on what people were wanting.
No fun. This one you can see there's a fair amount of blue in this black too. Some blue streaks in
Yeah,
here.
that was what I did.
You can see that? That's really cool.
So I kind of experiment with colors and ideas, but I always go back to this cracked, distressed look. We do guitar bodies as well, and people have loved it. But this is the kind of stuff I have in my home. My furniture, my violin is like this. It's just the whole look of my house, the cabinet doors, everything. We love this distressed kind of rustic looking stuff.
It's kind of how I'm starting to look. You play enough gigs, you start to get that distressed look about you. Oh yeah. So Yeah, those are really cool. I love whenever we share a picture of a Stratton violin on. I handle most of the Instagram stuff, and we got just over 20,000 followers on Instagram now. If you don't follow us on Instagram, please be our 20,001th.
The 20,001.
That's right. Every time I share a Stratton violin on Instagram, it blows up. Instagram loves these things. And can we show the back? Yes, we can.
Back of which one?
You will make it so it'll fit the quarter in half. Okay.
Oh, the violin. Okay, yes, we can show a violin back. Thought he was asking for my back. It's my best side.
I think it's
So this is the back of the violin. And again, this is not plastic, this is wood. And so, you know, you've got a lot of structural strength here on these.
Yeah, the Gypsy models are pretty tough. I mean, they can take a licking and keep on ticking.
Patrick Contreras, what's up, big dog? Thought maybe you'd be out on tour, like blasting a bunch of Latin music for some people all over the world. Patrick Contreras, I don't know if you follow him or not. He's the man.
I don't know.
We were watching a bunch of videos last night. I need to pull up some Patrick Contreras videos for him.
Yeah, that's the one thing about me. I'm a social media disaster. So if I don't repost your pictures and stuff like that, please forgive me. I have no idea how to do that on Instagram. It's like a, you know.
You're between sets, of course you are. This guy, that's the hardest working guy, man. Patrick, what's your record number of gigs in 1 week? I need to know this. Yeah, number of record gigs in 1 week, and then how many have you done in 1 day? I think his record in a day is like 5.
Jesus.
Like 5 shows a day. You have
That'd
to let us
kill
know.
me.
Yeah, man, it's
My
crazy.
neck would be.
24 in 1 week. 24 gigs in 1 week. The guy's driving a brand new Maserati. Yeah.
I need to take a nap now after hearing all that.
5 shows in 1 day. He just bought a new car for his wife, I think, man. It looks nice. It looks good. And that's the proper way to do that. When you buy a new car, your wife gets it. I tried getting one for myself, and my wife was like, "That's a really nice car. Hand me the keys." So that worked out pretty good. Yeah, we're excited for you, Patrick. Doing a great job, and we'll definitely watch some Patrick Contreras videos later. If you guys don't follow Violin on Fire on Instagram, please do, and then you can say, "Man, I met that guy when he was on his way up," because he's on his way up. He's going to be doing some big things. So yeah, let's talk about your history as a player. I guess you started. You don't just make violins; you play them.
Yeah, the whole thing started because I was playing violin. As a child, I played through school and up into college, and then started playing electric guitar, and then I picked the violin back up again, and I bought a Zeta violin way back in the day. This is maybe 30 years ago, and that was.
You didn't buy the company; you just.
I didn't buy the company. It's a joke because I was interviewed in Bulgaria on some national television thing, and a woman wrote an article. And what happened was, I said, "Yeah, I owned a Zeta violin. That was my first electric violin," and they posted an article and all this stuff and somewhere. And my friends all called me and they were like, "Look, man, they say that you own Zeta Violin." I was like, "Oh my God." I called these people out like, you have to take that stuff down. But it's one of those lost in translation things. You know, you don't think about it.
Right.
Because people have to translate English from Bulgarian. It's a Slavic language. And it's really difficult to exactly understand what people are saying. So it's easy. Misunderstandings are very easy. This one was pretty funny. But I played a Zeta Stratos, and that was kind of the start of the electric violin thing. And because I was designing furniture and cabinets and spaces and all this stuff, I was like, let's kick this. I think we can kick this up a notch. And I started making clay models maybe 25 years ago, of different designs and different things, and I was concentrating mostly on making faces. And I still have the very first one. And during that time, it didn't go anywhere. And I remember I damaged a face. So I drilled the eye sockets out with a Forstner bit. I was like, Jesus, how could I screw up this piece of wood? And I was like, and I drilled the eye sockets out, and I think I broke the nose off. I like had a hammer, and I was like crack, and you know, one of these moments where you're like, how could you have broke that violin? And when I knocked the nose off, it tore the wood away, the eye sockets, and I started grinding the eye sockets bigger. And basically what I tell people is I took the skin off this violin, and that's where the skull violin came from. And I started working on the teeth and developing this whole skull thing, and it just went. And I tell you, I went from violin shop to violin shop to violin shop, violin shop. No. And then the skull violin, the first skull violin wound up here at the electric violin shop. And then it was all over. It was like, it went crazy. So that was kind of me in the beginning. That's how it kind of all started with that.
So then where did that go? You started making these for yourself, or you're making them for other people?
I made the one that was here, I made that for myself. You know, but I was like, eventually I'll have a viable product that people would be interested in. And I just kind of was persistent with it. It was to have a violin for myself. And then it kind of went viral. There were some pictures that went just crazy viral all over the internet. It's like, okay. And then I came here. I haven't been to the violin shop for like 8 years, I think. I think it was 8 years ago. That was the first time I was here. So since then, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been a great ride.
Jinxx from Black Veil Brides has
Jinxx
one.
from Black Veil Brides.
Bennett from the Trouble Notes has
The Trouble
one.
Notes. Hey, Bennett, if you're, I doubt he's up right now. They are like crashed. They're in Europe. So
But he can watch it later. He may be watching this in post.
Yeah, he can watch it later. Don't forget, you told me you're coming to Bulgaria, man.
I'm gonna come hang out
Matt
with you, man.
may come out and hang
Yeah, I'm
out
gonna come
too.
hang out
So
with you guys.
don't let us down.
He's been telling me how good the food is in Bulgaria.
Yeah,
That's how you get to
you
me.
know, April, you got to come. So, but it's been a good thing. Now I'm kind of going a little crazier into these one-off ideas I've had in my head for quite some time. And this other artist from Kazakhstan, Sergey, my good friend Sergey, he works on some of these. We kind of collaborate together on some designs, and he has more ideas. And the great thing about it is I'm friends with all these people that make my parts, that do the tail pieces. You know, it's a lot of fun. We just have a great time.
Pricing on these, I know you guys are going to ask. They start in the 2000s, and you can find all these on our website because they are all different. All the pricings are going to be different for 4 strings, 5 strings, whether it's sort of the base model or the semi-custom, or you go up to the customs. Sort of start in the $2,000 range and up to $5,000 or $6,000 for the hyper custom ones.
Yeah.
And then if you want something more custom, if you've got an idea and you say, hey man, I just got to have this thing. You made one for the violin chick, not that long ago with the TVC.
The TVC. That kind of stuff. I love to do that kind of stuff. That I really enjoy it. You know, she was great. Violin turned out really well.
Had a bunch of cool colors on it.
Yeah, it was purple and white. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it looked good.
It looked.
You know,
It did.
It
It
really
looked
looked good. I was really happy with that violin, and I inlaid the letters instead of just painting them in there, and it turned out well. No, I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think with anybody else I would have been nervous, but when I saw like she had this idea, and I was like, you know what, Jeff's going to pull this off.
Yeah, it was a great. I really enjoyed making that violin, and when they come together, I'll post some pictures of it now on Instagram of in the beginning of that and how, because the letters kind of float in there.
Yeah,
you know, they're
really
cracked,
cool.
and then they kind of go out over the edge of the crack and gives it a lot of depth instead of just painted letters on there.
Right.
You know, it's like.
Yeah, and then
Why
you've got
not
some
go
that
for
have
the
got
custom?
like the crossed nails.
Oh yeah.
Those are really cool too.
Whose violin
I
was
don't remember
that?
whose violin that was.
That was
but
a real pirate. I put some old Bulgarian coins in that, fake ones, so nobody will throw me in jail because that's like illegal to take those out of Bulgaria.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on with the Stratton Violins, man. If you guys got any questions for Jeff, he's standing right here. You can hit him up. As far as ordering those things, the easiest way is to talk to us. and we'll sort of coordinate details with him. And
Yeah, it's a contact the electric violin shop thing.
he doesn't want to hear from you.
Now that's kind of true, but not really true, you know.
He wants to hear from you. He's just too busy making cool violins to answer the phone every 15 minutes. So yeah, what's the playing looking like today? Are you playing a whole lot, or are you mostly making violins?
I mostly make violins. I'm like so out of shape. I don't play so much anymore. I play with some friends in Bulgaria, but that's about it. You know, we get together maybe once a month, once every 2 months. So it's not like I'm shredding away on the violin. It's a disaster kind
Too
of.
busy making them.
Too busy making them and finishing up stuff on our house. You know, we built our own house, so it's just been a crazy couple years doing that, making violins,
Keeping track of a couple big dogs.
keeping track of big dogs. You know, it's really. I need to take a nap just thinking about it.
We'll have to
So
go and get something to eat.
Yeah. Maybe someday the playing thing will get fired up again. Have you done?
Any cello versions?
You know, I have been working on a cello for maybe 10 or 12 years. And the issue of it is strength and weight. The cello, I started a cello body, I have the neck and everything done, but it was just way too heavy. To take the weight off of it would affect the integrity of the string tension. So the integrity of the instrument was at stake. You know, it was just too heavy. So we're trying to figure out some kind of engineering way to make it work and still kind of be a skull cello. But I'm telling you, that thing, I started on one and it probably weighed 50 pounds. So it's just not feasible to ship it, to have it. You know, it's just too much. It'd be a fortune. So I kind of put it on the back burner because I make the 4-string and 5-string violins keep me busy. So it's really difficult for me to come along, do cellos, do violas. It's a whole other ball game.
Yeah, so far, no. We could octave convert one. We'd have to look at the tail pieces on them, whether the tail pieces would fit the octave strings or not.
They should. We'd have to check it out.
Yeah, we'd have to look at that, but it's at least theoretically possible to octave convert one. Theory's good. Raz is awesome too, by the way. If you guys don't follow Raz, you should definitely do that. She's a DJ and a violinist, and she just picked up a new Spectra violin.
Nice.
And is doing live DJing and playing, and like, didn't you had a costume or something for one of your shows that was weren't you in like there were like champagne glasses all the way around? You were like a champagne glass dress or something? That was crazy.
It would be metal.
It would be metal. We could make it out of metal.
You mean would be metal, the cello metal?
That would be metal.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Raz is doing some really cool stuff. If you don't follow her, you should. And she's one of the most knowledgeable people out there on amps and gear. If you have any questions about gear or amps or any of that stuff, and you're not getting the answers you want from us, hit up Raz, and she's more than happy to talk to you about that stuff. I'm not like a super huge amp guy. I've mostly been through giant PAs. Raz has done a lot of work with amps and knows way more about amps than I do. Has he done a fretted violin? Excellent question.
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
We've sold all of the fretted violins.
sold all the fretted violin. I play a fretted violin I made for myself. And we only fret up to the 15th fret. And there's none here, they're all gone.
Yeah, all the yours are gone. There are some fretted violins floating around. There's a fretted
That's
Contini.
fretted. But yeah, we do frets. Like I say, I play a fretted violin.
So he goes
I love
up
it.
to, see, we got 12th fret here, 13, 14, 15. So he's fretted to about here. on the fretboard, and the rest of these, because you know they start getting mighty
They're-
tight up here.
yeah, they're-
like up here. That's pretty
It's
tight.
way too tight.
So yeah, it does make sense.
And the fingerboard is back a little bit to accommodate the nose of the skull. So we've found 15 works.
Honestly, in rock and roll, nobody wants to hear all this screely
Yeah,
stuff up
nobody's
here.
gonna
It's
play
too
that.
screechy. Nobody wants to hear that mess.
Way too screechy.
Yeah. We want low strings. We want to be playing down here. That's where all the money's made.
And
right
if you
here.
go up high, we found that the sound is better without the fret down here. And that's kind of why we took it away.
Well, you're touching 2 or 3 frets at
Yeah,
once with a
yeah,
finger.
it's really kind of touchy once you get up there.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear all that screechy stuff in rock and roll anyway. If you want to play all those high notes, just use harmonics. That's what I do. Yeah, any other questions? You guys hit us up. If we sign off, or if you're catching this after the fact, you can dump comments, or you can dump questions into the comments section, and either we will answer them, or we'll make sure Jeff sees them and he can answer them, and you can get
Yeah,
answers
no
to your
problem.
questions. But yeah, I wore my skull shirt today, my Hayden Vatera shirt, my skull
The
shirt.
skull shirt.
Oh, yeah,
I
look at
wore a
that.
Stratton Violin shirt.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
You can have this one.
All right,
Actually, it'll probably fit your son better. Than
that's right.
Your son can have it.
There you go. Yeah, so again, we were gonna have. We'll show you these violins all again. How's that?
Yeah, and I haven't posted a lot. I've posted pictures of this. I'll post pictures of the other ones now. I've just been waiting to get him here, and
So this is
Transport to the state.
the Tibetan one here,
this is one of the Tibetans.
and then you can see all the detail in this thing, and then you're looking about where we've got the tongues. Is it possible to check violins at your shop in Miami? We don't have a shop in Miami. We're in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, Durham, North Carolina.
So here's the Tibetan violin here. Although if you are in Miami, we are like 15 minutes from the RDU airport. You can hop up here to the RDU airport, and we're literally 15 minutes from the airport.
Yeah,
And you
I
come
just
hang
came
out.
from there. I flew into Raleigh, and it's really convenient to get around here. It's amazing.
So here's this violin, just really, really, really stinking cool. This thing is so awesome.
This is a cherry body. This is a cherry wood.
And then you see this piece here. This is where the bridge is going to sit. This is where the bridge sits, and then there's the line for the wire to go in there, and
And then,
comes through, and Jamie does all the work on finishing those things off. So there's the Tibetan one of the Tibetan ones. Here's the other one,
the other one.
and we'll let you guys see the detail on this. I'm trying to balance between 2 cameras here, so it seems like I'm a little off center for you.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
the other way off
really
center for the
kind
other
of-
people.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
There's a lot to look at here, so we'll come over here. Take a screenshot if you need to, screen cap.
And I'll put pictures of these up on Instagram too, so people can.
Yeah, tell them what your Instagram handle is.
I think it's just Stratton Violin. You don't. This is what a disaster I am on social media. I have to check.
I think it is too. I think it's Stratton Violin.
Yeah, it's just Stratton Violin.
And then you're on Facebook too, right?
Yeah, Facebook could be set Stratton Violin as well. Yeah,
Same kind of deal here.
yeah.
Let you guys see this thing. This is really, really cool. He does such outstanding work.
Yeah, I really like this for really like this violin.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
So we're gonna do in the future. Now we're gonna do a series of Tibetan-inspired, Native American Indian-inspired. We have some ideas for like a Japanese and Chinese kind of artwork violin. So we'll see how we get that pumped out here.
Yeah, these are hand carved. A single piece of wood. You know, obviously you sort of rough it in, and then the hand stuff is all. Yeah, all this is done. All this incredible detail.
So what happens is the blocks are cut by CNC like a blank. and then it goes to handwork from there.
Have something for girls. Yeah, this one here is actually really good for girls. Yeah, you can just see the level of detail in here.
And I'll post, the thing is my wife is a dentist. So I have access to all these really fine burrs and tools to do detail. And I'm going to post a little video on Instagram of how I actually did a little work being done on this, one of the Tibetan violins. Do you have?
I don't know what that means for girls.
For girls.
You talk about something like less sort of devilly. I think the devil actually is a girl, but that's a whole nother discussion. Because I know because I dated her for like 4 years. This one is I don't know. I don't know if these things like are gendered or not. But,
Yeah, I don't really have a gender thing ever going on about.
But this is this one looks more like a wedding dress to me.
Really?
No, not at all. But yeah, I don't know if you're more of a girly girl, like my daughter is like super girly. These are too macho. I don't know. I didn't know there's a such thing.
Yeah.
My daughter's a very girly girl, and like she would love one of these if it was in hot pink because that's her. You haven't made any hot pink ones.
No, that's kind of not my color. No, if somebody wanted a, but I just did this purple one for Hannah. Remember? This
Oh yeah,
purple and
yeah.
white.
That was
It turned
hot.
out really well.
Less devilly. Yeah.
Yeah, less devilly.
No, so if you wanted a custom fit, if you got ideas and you wanted one made, this is the guy to do it. Super creative. Always the craftsmanship is top notch. And of course they always sound great too. Lots of big dogs are playing these. We talked
Lots of
about,
big dog, yeah.
you know, Black Veil Brides is a huge band.
Yeah, they're crazy big.
Jinxx has got one, and then the Trouble Notes is sort of an up and coming band, but they've had viral videos with tens of millions of views.
I mean, those guys are playing on another level right now. And I think he's had one of my violins for, it's been so long I can't remember, maybe 7 years? I don't know, I can't remember.
And I know Brian King Joseph from America's Got Talent. He played Jinx's. Those two
Yeah,
guys
on
are
the
friends.
that
he's played
backstory,
Jinx's
yeah.
before. Is the neck a separate piece? Yeah, it's a bolt-on
Yeah,
neck.
it's a bolt-on neck. It's a different type of wood. So the neck is flame maple. In the bodies, they are either basswood or sycamore. So, and the neck is, it's basically a classic neck. You know, I kind of had a stick about that. You know, I like the look of the classic violin, why the gypsy is like this. But the neck is, you could find this neck on any high-end classic violin.
Yeah, we're so busy showing the bodies that we haven't shown the
Yeah.
heads or the necks much.
So it's just a classic scroll, and I really liked it. It's a great design from back in the day.
You can see where the bolt-on is here. Mm-hmm. Of course, I picked the darkest one to try to show
The
you
darkest
guys.
one to show it. It's like
That was good thinking on my part.
I think it's really hard to see it. Yeah, I don't think you can see it even from there. Oh, you can see it there.
Just imagine that we're telling the truth.
We are telling the truth.
So, yeah. Well, it's been a good conversation. You got any cool stories you want to tell?
Oh man, I'm like jet lagging big time. So it's like my brain, I'm like full of stories, but they always come out when you're sitting down at dinner and drinking beer.
You guys
So-
have to come over and have dinner and
You
drink
should
beer.
have a barbecue.
That's
here
right, we
at, a monthly barbecue at EVS.
There you go.
Set up a little stage, get a barbecue pit,
Yeah.
hook up and have, just make a party out
We
of it.
just need a bass player and a drummer.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I don't know if any of you guys are going to the NAMM show in January in Anaheim, but last year we did a fiddle hang, and let's see, Daniela Padron was playing, and we had, let's see, I think Mark Wood came out, Ned Steinberger came out, Steve Carlson from Zeta came out, Raz was there, Chuck Bontrager was there, Joe Denizon was there, Jesus Florido was there, Andrew Glasser was there, Brian King Joseph was there, Black Violin was there, D Sharp was there. Who else? Gosh, I mean, everybody was there. It was a killer. Jasly Monet was there. Everybody was there. Like the biggest, coolest names. Let's see, who else was there? Martha Mook was there. Just some really, really cool people. And we just hung out, and Daniela played, and we all just shot the breeze and had some frosty beverages. And Black Violin actually played earlier, and then we made it to Daniela's show, and then we made it out to D Sharp's show, and there were so many amazing connections made that night.
Yeah, NAMM's a riot.
We're gonna do it
definitely-
again
Yeah, it's
this
definitely
year.
worth a trip.
So Friday night at NAMM this year, if you're gonna be in Anaheim, the Friday of NAMM, it's January 20-something. Just stay in touch with our Instagram and our Facebook, and we'll make sure we're pumping out details on it. But if you're gonna be at NAMM, make sure that you come hang with all the coolest electric players on the planet. 3D Various was there. Yeah, we couldn't get John Jordan to leave his house and come.
Really?
But we got Ned Steinberg. We got Ned Steinberg out of his hotel room to come. And if you and who else was there? David Gage was there.
Yeah.
So if you can get Ned Steinberger to come, you've done something, because he really doesn't like these things. But he said he was coming back. When I talked to him last week, he said he was going to come. He really dug it. So please come and meet all these amazing people and buy me beer.
Actually, what's this question?
So
I
girls,
can't. I'm like 60
imagine
some
more
years old.
animals or snake or cat's eyes.
Actually, we're gonna do a series of horses. This Kazakhstani guy, you know, they're kind of have a tradition of raising it, and we're working on some horse stuff. We're definitely working on the animal stuff, but it's kind of not everything fits into the violin form. That's our thing. So
My wife wants you to buy me beer because she doesn't want to be around me when I've been overserved, and she won't be there. Yes, buy me beer. Either that, or she wants to save $8 because that's what beers cost in NAMM. Yeah,
What's? I can't read that.
buy not but. Yes, yeah. Butt him some beer. Yeah, either way, butt me some or buy me some. Either way, as long as you put it in my hand, that's good. Yeah, so a horse series coming up.
Yeah, we'll see. We've been working on. We started working on that. The horse, a crane, and I can't remember the other ones, but they just haven't gelled yet. It just hasn't come together. I mean, I literally work on these things for years. This has been 3 years in the making. I work on it, take it down, go back, come back, change things. So they just don't happen overnight. It's kind of a process to go through it, because some things we've done some experimental stuff, and it just looks like,
Well, it has to be right.
yeah, it has to be right. It has to really feel good and look good and all that kind of stuff.
So do you do the design work pencil sketch or on a computer, or how's that done?
We like this intricate stuff. It's done on a computer. When in wood carving, it's like when you make things with clay, it's easy to build things up and take the clay away, build it up, take it away. But when you're doing it on wood, it's really nice to see where you're going, so you have a point of origin to start. So I do a computer model of just about everything. Any of the intricate stuff, that's all computer modeled. And I can see a 3D image of it, because it saves me from making violins that are going to look like hell in the end. You don't have to run the risk of taking a year to carve a violin and then it looks not so good. And
Right.
it gets donated to the firewood pile.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
That's not so good.
Then you drill the eyes out.
Then
maybe
you
get
drill the
another
eyes
idea.
out and maybe have another idea.
A horse skull.
But now this guy does this computer stuff. It's great, because you can sit right there and manipulate it, 3D, and you're good to go. So you can kind of see how it looks. It's a
Yeah,
big
if you
plus.
want to order one, the easiest way is to email us, info@electricviolinshop.com, and
Yeah.
we'll make the connection and all that.
And we'll see. It's probably going to be, if the horse one works, it's going to be probably the end of next year before that it ever, like some of this to hand carve, it takes forever.
Butterflies, you're not doing a butterfly violin?
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. You
Depending on
never
somebody
know
orders
what's
one or
gonna. We would do like alien butterflies.
There you go.
But we'll see what happens. What's
Yeah,
that?
that she can
Oh
order.
yeah. Contact the violin shop.
We're here for you.
They're here for you, and they do a great job. I mean, it's a great place. It's sweet.
It's a lot of fun to hang out. If you do have a chance to get to Durham, we were just telling somebody that was in Miami. We do have people fly in from all over the world. We did sell a violin to somebody who was working at the research center at the South Pole in Antarctica.
Oh, jeez.
We've had people fly in. I speak Spanish too. So we've had people fly in from Colombia or from Spain or whatever. I'll pick them up at the airport, get them over here to the shop. They'll shop all day, buy a violin, and fly home. We've had that happen where they've come in the morning and flown home that night, or they've flown in one day, shop all day the next day, then fly out. It's not uncommon at all for us to have people fly in from all over the planet. We had a father and a son come in from Europe to shop here.
Oh, nice.
Because this is the only place other than a shop in Japan. This is the only shop on the planet where there are this many electric violins under one roof. We do have more than just Stratton violins, although none of them are any good.
No doubt you're gonna mad. I'm friends with these other makers. Don't believe a thing he said.
No, that's a fun thing when I started working here. Is I'm a wood violins guy. I'd been playing Vipers
Viper.
for 20 years, and when I first started playing here, I'd never played any of these other instruments. So my first job was to go play all these instruments and get acquainted with them. And I remember telling, I expected, I was a little bit of a Viper snob. I kind of had my nose up, and I was thinking, well, if it's not a Viper, it can't be. And they all sound good. They all sound different, which is like guitar players all have 20 guitars because they're all different. So the deal is my instrument room's now full of violins because they're all different, and each one sounds different, and each one feels different, and each one is good for a different thing, and each itch has sort of its own particular scratch that's going to satisfy that.
Yeah.
So, but if I will say that Stratton violins are exceedingly high quality, they're exceedingly creative. And if you buy a Stratton violin, you will not be disappointed.
Man, thanks, man. Yeah, thank you.
So, Again, if you guys have questions, dump them in the comments section, and we will do our best to answer those. YouTube folks, we're about to sign off. You're the man. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.